Hello and welcome to another video here on my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about issue 271 of Knitting magazine. This is the cover, not my design on the cover. I'm going to show you what my design looks like before I sent it off to the magazine, and also what the photographs look like, and show you some of the other stuff that's in this issue. So I hope you enjoy today's video. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through our website YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. But this is the cover of issue 271 of Knitting magazine. It was out the Thursday before this video goes live. Before we take a look at what's in this issue of the magazine, we'll go to a few months ago, back to March, and look at what this sweater looked like before I sent it off to the magazine. So let's take a look at this sample. I knitted this sample myself. I use sample knitters a lot, but I do occasionally knit a sample myself, and I knitted this. And if you were watching my podcast when I was in London in March for Stitch Festival, I was actually working on this sample at Stitch Festival, which is why I have some video I can include in this video of me actually knitting it in the sunshine in London. I was knitting it on the train while I was in London, on the train home, and then I finished it a few days after I got home. So let's talk about the yarn first, and we'll talk about the construction of this piece and some of the design details. So the yarn is Yarn Smith's Kid Mohair Silk in colour 3228. Yarn Smith's is a yarn by Wool Warehouse. I think that it's their in-house yarn. It is 74% kid mohair, 26% silk, and it has 212 meters by 25 grams. So it is a thinner yarn. I actually knitted it holding two strands together to make it a little bit thicker and a bit quicker to knit. It's got a really nice feel to it. It's very light, but it is quite warm because it has two strands held together, but it's still very, very light. I haven't weighed this yet, so I can't remember how much it weighs. But it's knitted in the round. So you start at the bottom with the rib, 2x2 rib, put just 10 rounds, and then you knit in the round to the underarm. It has dropped shoulders, so at the underarm I started knitting the lace pattern. I knitted the back first, which also has the lace pattern, and the lace pattern does have beads in it. Oh, I left a stitch marker in at the back here. I usually put stitch markers in where I split for the underarm to help me measure. Didn't really need that here because it started the lace pattern anyway. So it has a beaded pattern. I have a lace in the middle of each little flower motif. If you don't like beads, you can leave those out. Also, if you don't like the idea of having beads on the back, you can leave those out. It may be, if you're very sensitive, you might be able to feel it if you sit back against a chair. I think the beads are fairly small. They're size 6 and they're only on the top of the sweater. So for me, I don't think that'd be a problem. But you can leave the beads out if you want to, or just do them on the front. Or you can go for the smallest size 8 beads. I think they would be okay. You've got to make sure that you can get 4 strands of this yarn through it. I use the crochet hook method of attaching the beads, which means that the whole stitch goes through the bead. So in this case, because it's knitted holding 2 strands together, that would mean 4 strands would need to go through the bead. So from the underarm, I split it and knitted it back to the shoulders, put the stitches on hold for the shoulders, and then I knitted the front to the shoulders, no armhole shaping, and then I joined at the top edge working a 3-needle cast off. To adapt this, if you have bigger upper arms, bigger biceps, you can start the armhole shaping lower down. You would then need to decide whether you're happy with the body length as a whole, in which case you need to knit less on the body and start the armhole shaping further down. Or if you want a slightly longer body, you can then knit longer before you start the armhole shaping. But if you want a bigger armhole, you can basically go up to a larger size for the armhole and knit a larger size for the armhole. It's fairly easy with this to mix and match the armhole sleeve sizing with the body size because of the fact that it has drop shoulders. Once you get to the shoulders, you join the shoulders working a 3-needle cast off. And then I actually did the neckline first because I was on a bit of a tight deadline by this point, so I wanted to make sure I got that finished. So I just did that quickly after I finished the body. And then I picked up stitches for the sleeves, and the sleeves are just knitted in the round with decreases all the way down. Long sleeves. You can make the sleeves longer or shorter. Just adjust the length as you knit. The good thing with knitting the sleeves from the top down is that you can try it on as you go to get the right length. Body is in stocking stitch on the sleeves and on the body, and then it's just a lace from the underarms up to the top of the shoulders. It comes with a little booklet, Summer Socks Workshop, 4 designs, 3 techniques. So it has some different designs. So she's got Italian tubular cast off, which I must admit I've never tried. I'm not very good at trying different cast offs and cast ons. I tend to just stick with what I know, but I do need to try the Italian tubular cast off. It's also got figure 8 cast on for toe up socks, and then it's got 4 designs. So quite interesting if you're into socks or you'd like to get into socks. Right, let's look at this issue. So the theme was romantic lace, so right up my street, and it's definitely a blue theme. There's a lot of blue in this issue. Definitely a blue theme. This is the contents page. Definitely a blue theme in this issue. There are some like news pages, new products, new yarns. Vivacious from Fiberspace have released some new colours. I haven't worked with Vivacious from Fiberspace for ages, but it's a really nice yarn. So there's a few pages of news and different things. There's 10 years of Wool on the X, which is in Exeter. I have taught some workshops there, and Debbie, the owner, also hosted my second book, I think it was, the book launch for that, which was very exciting. It's really interesting. I haven't tried this. Let me know if you've tried these. Don't think you can see them that well, but they are double pointed needles from Addi, Crazy Snake, and they are like wavy. I'm very tempted to get some of those just to see what they're like. I don't really use double pointed needles. I guess I could knit some socks on double pointed needles, but I normally use magic loop. So I do wonder whether they do them in circular needles as well. So I will have to investigate, because I am fascinated whether it's comfortable to knit with the wavy needles. So if you've knitted with those, let me know. Are they worth it? Do you like them, or are they just weird? I may have to get some and try. Then there's a regular column by Vicky Howell, who's an American craft influencer, huge following, knitting things with ruffles, shawls, socks, sweaters. And then there's Colour Theory 101. I think that's something a lot of knitters struggle with. I've always struggled to get my head around colour theory, but I just I guess I instinctively know what I like. So I don't really think about colour theory that much when I am choosing colours. And then there's a feature on Canadian writer, knitter and designer Carla Courtney, and she seems to do a lot of kind of fun novelty stuff, but also like sweaters and things. That looks like a nice sweater. And then Mind Your Yarns and Hooks. Crochet designer and influencer Lisa Ha is pulling no punches with her first book, Snarky Crochet. Sometimes knitting magazines, if they feature anything crochet related, get slated for that. I don't really know why, but then there's a feature on the yarn indie dye that I haven't heard of before, Blue Fern. I don't think I've ever come across their yarns before, but they look beautiful. It looks like the kind of color I would like. Then there's some book reviews, and it's reviewing the Addi Crazy, they call Crazy Snake Lace DPNs. Lace DPNs. Yeah, I may have to give those a try to see what they're like. Then there's a yarn review on various yarns. I like to look through that because quite often it's easy to, it's a good way of seeing whether there's some yarns that I haven't tried that I might like to try, different yarns. And then we come to the patterns. So really pretty top and a lace scarf. I do like the way they model this, like scarves and shawls and things with other designs. So the sweater is by Joe Allport, and the scarf is by Bruno Miscali. It's a little kind of skinny knitted scarf. And then there's two other patterns, lacy patterns. That's the cover designs, which is very pretty. And the cover designs is by Kath Andrews, and the poncho type thing is by Jacinta Bowie. And then some other blue designs by Brian Smith, Brenna Miscali, and Sarah Murray. I'm going to show you all the designs in here, but that is my pattern. That's what it looks like modeled. It's knitted in Yarnsmith's Kid Silk Mohair, and I'm pretty sure I knitted 2 strands together. Then there's a few other designs. Then they take 3 other designs and feature them in different colors and suggest some accessories to wear with them, which I quite like. And then there's some other designs, some baby designs. Like I said, I'm not going to show you everything because it takes too long. And then there's all the patterns. I like the fact that they do all the like photos and stuff of the patterns, and then they have the patterns separately. I'm sure there's some people who don't like that, but I quite like that. Then at the back is a normal column by Erica Knight and Arabella Harris, and it's all about colour. So a lot about colour in this issue. This magazine is in the shops in the UK now. I think you can get it online as well. I'll put any links I can find below. Otherwise, Google is your friend. Knitting is also on Instagram, probably also other social media. It's been in the shops since last Thursday when this video goes live. So it's probably going to be in the shops for a few weeks yet. But do go and check it out if you can get your hands on it. It's a really great issue, especially if you like lace knitting. Some of the designs are a bit more summery. Some of the designs, like mine, even though it's lace, and it's knitted in mohair, so I would say that's suitable for all year round. My design does have beads, but you can leave the beads out if you want to. If you've already bought this issue, let me know which is your favorite design. Let me know if you enjoy these videos that I do. I try and do one every time I have a pattern come out, but I don't always have time to film the design before I send it off to the magazine. This depends on my deadline schedule and what else is going on. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.